Welcome to the Seedling Greenhouse. We're here in late winter and we're starting to look at seedlings.
When the seed catalogs arrive, it can be overwhelming to know what to choose and why. So here we are to give you a few pointers on how to select varieties for the coming season. The first thing I like to consider when I'm choosing varieties is who I'm growing for. My market could be restaurants, CSAs, or farmers markets, and each customer will have a slightly different interest and need. So when I'm growing for restaurants, for example, I like to grow unique varieties, something a bit different that chefs can't get anywhere else. If I'm growing for a CSA, I want a consistent size, something that's a bit smaller, that I can put in a box easily every week.
When you're looking through the seed catalog, there's a lot of information, and one of the things that you can kind of sort through and look at for each variety, every seed catalog is going to have it, is DTM, days to maturity. I'm always trying to find the thing with less days to maturity. That just means that you're going to be harvesting whatever that crop is faster. You know, we're in Vancouver, so we're pretty far north. If some of the crops are too long days to maturity, we just can't grow them. So getting that number as low as possible.
The next thing I look for when I'm choosing varieties is to find something unique. It could be the shape, the color, the size, but obviously the flavor always has to be the key factor when choosing a new thing to grow. You want to be standing out from your competition and engaging your customers in a new and interesting way. There's nothing better than starting a conversation over that weird vegetable that's on your market stall.
When you're starting out, you might think about productivity as finding like a great variety that's going to produce the most volume. I'm going to grow the biggest cabbage head. And then you realize nobody wants to buy a $12 cabbage head. So then, you know, planting them tighter spacing so that you've got more small heads, those are more consumable, and you know, customers are more likely to want to buy a small head than a big head. So you're going to grow two heads in the same space you would otherwise grow one head.
Another thing to consider when choosing varieties is how the plant grows. What's its plant habit? Tomatoes, for example, there's both determinate tomatoes, which are a bush plant, and indeterminate tomatoes, which are more of a vine and grow up and tall along a greenhouse trellis. Both of these require different infrastructure needs, different spacing, and have different productivity in the long run. These are really important things to consider before you choose a variety, because you don't want to be scrambling early spring once your plant's already growing to make the right infrastructure work for the plants that you have.
Disease resistance is another thing you would want to look at in your seed catalog. A couple of examples of that would be if your tomatoes get a lot of powdery mildew or your basil gets fusarium. In the seed catalog, it should have different varieties that are resistant to diseases that you're prone to. So if you're prone to fusarium, definitely pick a variety that is resistant to fusarium.
Another quick thing to consider is F1s versus OPs. These are the symbols denoting whether it's a hybrid, an F1, or an OP, which is an open pollinated variety. We like to choose often hybrid varieties on our farm because it produces more consistent products and usually has better disease resistance in the long run. Open pollinated varieties, on the other hand, can have a slightly lower disease resistance, and there can be more inconsistency within the seed lot because they're an open pollinated variety.
So those are a couple of things to consider when you're looking through your seed catalogs.
If you have any more questions about how we choose varieties, make sure to put them in the comments down below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can.
Yeah.
Keep on growing and we'll see you next time.